everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cheryl and this is vacation planning, dollar store videos, race videos, lots of other stuff coming your way. So today we are talking about 7 tips to planning your Disney World vacation, or really any vacation these tips would work for. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So if you guys could all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so that you get notified on all future videos, that would be great. So let's talk about planning our Disney World vacation. Clients call me constantly and they tell me, I want to go to Disney, maybe another park. How much will that cost? Okay, that's great. I absolutely want to help everybody. I want to get you all planned, and going on your magical vacation. But let's take it one step at a time, okay? Number one, big thing is going to be budget. So your best thing to do is to figure out realistically what you think your budget may or may not be. Start either on the high end or the low end and figure out if you can build up, or start high, and then that doesn't necessarily mean that's what we have to spend, but we have a little bit to work with. So once you figure out your budget, there's lots of different ways to go about the rest of the planning situation. One thing I would suggest, just from like a financial perspective, is if you have your heart set on that Disney vacation and you know that in the next year or two your child is going to be this old or this old and you really want to do this, set the budget. You can book a Disney trip up to a year in advance, sometimes even a little bit further out. And once you book your package, you pay a $200 deposit on that, and we can make payments on that along the way. So if you were booking the $3,000 package, we could make payments of like $250 a month. Now, in doing so, you can also go to Target, use your red card, and buy gift cards. If you used gift cards on a $3,000 Disney vacation, you would save $150. Now, to some people that might not sound like much, but to me, that sounds like all of my son's Lego money. Anything that he wants, any of his souvenirs, that would then go to him. So that's one way to make your souvenirs and stuff and have that extra. Or if you're really looking to save every penny, I mean, $150 is not anything to scoff at. So setting your budget is a big deal. And if anyone is not familiar with the Target Red Card, this is not necessarily a credit card. The Target Red Card can be a credit card. You can apply for it that way if you want to. But several years ago, my sister was telling me, and I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And apparently, I have it, so I know. You can get a Target Red Card and you link it right to your debit or your checking account. So every time you make purchases at Target, it comes right out of your bank account. So it's not a credit card, it's coming right from the money that you already have in the bank, but you automatically get 5% off on all of your Target purchases. So seriously, if you're not using Target Red Card when you go shopping, if nothing else you take from this video, please go get the Target Red Card. I know it's 5%. I know it might seem like nothing, but every penny right now really does count. So go get the Target Red Card, get your groceries, get your clothes, get your school supplies, get that there. But if you're planning a vacation, you can get your Target, you can buy Target cards there, but they're not discounted. I don't think. I have to check on that. You get your Disney cards there, you can get Uber cards there, you can get Southwest cards there, and like a ton of other gift cards there, and they're all 5% off. So that is a huge, huge thing in my mind. Excuse me. So that's pretty big. Now, when we're thinking about our budget, there's a few key factors to take into consideration. Number 1, transportation. Number 2, resort. Number 3, park tickets. Number 4, food. And number 5, other. So make sure that you're taking into consideration your transportation. Are you going to fly? Are you going to drive? It doesn't always make sense for everybody to fly. If you fly, you then do have to get transportation from the airport to the hotel or resort, wherever you're staying. If you drive, depending on how far you are, we're in New England, So for us, if we were driving 20 to 24 hours to Orlando, there's a good chance we would get a hotel room. So that's another expense, plus all of the fuel. So you have to take all that into consideration and just figure out what's going to be best for you and your family. So that's number one, transportation. Number two is resort or hotel. So are you staying at a Disney resort? And if so, what category are you staying in? There's value, moderate, or deluxe. Obviously, value is going to be lesser expensive, moderate in the middle, and a deluxe is going to be the higher end. Or are you going to stay off property at a hotel? Number three, park tickets. How many days are you going to be in the parks? How many tickets are you going to buy? Are you going to add water park to those tickets? Are you going to add park hopper to those tickets? So these are all things that we need to discuss and we need to figure out. Number four is food. You definitely have to set aside money for food. Disney has some promotions that are going on. I think the dining card one is not in effect anymore. I think it just ended, but they were doing one where if you stayed at a certain hotel, you could get money on a gift card towards dining. There was a Disney dining plan, but since COVID, it has not returned, and there's no word that it is going to return. So that's something important. So we have to talk about food. We have to decide if we're sitting down to restaurants, if we're only eating at quick service, and that's something that we can discuss together and come up with a budget on. And then others, souvenirs, enhancing extras, all of these types of things. So this is all things that are really important to talk about. So the next thing that would be on my list of tips would be dates. So when we're thinking about the dates, this kind of also goes into our budget. We need to decide, are we going to be very specific with dates? This is when it has to be. A lot of us, I work for school, so I can only go during school breaks or during the summer. If you have children that can't be pulled out of school, you might be in the same predicament. So at that point, sometimes it's going to be more expensive. So you might need to consider that when planning out your trip, because your budget is going to need to be a little higher, and you might have less flexibility. However, if you have more flexibility with your dates, there's a good chance we can save you money. So figuring out your dates and knowing if you're flexible or not is super important. Number three would be, at this point, call me. So I would suggest tip number three, call a travel agent. I have to tell you, I went to Disney many times as a child. I was very lucky. My parents took us on vacation every year. And then in the early 2000s, my mom and sister and I took our boys. And then I went a couple of other times with some friends with my children when they were young. So it wasn't until 2016 that my husband and I took all three of our boys and we went for our first Disney trip, kind of more currently, I would call it. And I had never planned a Disney trip on my own. And I planned well, I thought. I did not have any help. And I just remember standing in the middle of Tomorrowland, kind of looking around aimlessly in a complete blur. And I remember this moment extremely vividly, but yet I don't remember anything else of this trip except one restaurant that we ate at that I would not recommend any client eating at. And I don't remember anything else. I just remember being so overwhelmed and wishing I had had some help. So at that point, I became really obsessed with planning Disney, and I even started helping additional people plan Disney. And then eventually I became a Disney specialist and travel agent. So now I can book all of your Disney trips, whether it be Disney World, Disneyland, your Disney cruise, your Aulani, Hawaii, Disney Adventure, or anywhere else. I can book your vacations anywhere in the country, around the world. So that would be my next step, would be please consider a travel agent. One thing that I want everybody to know is that whatever price you're seeing, whether it be online with a discount code, through Expedia, through Tripline, Priceline, whatever it is, no matter where you're booking, there is already a cushion in there for a travel agent. So there's not going to be a discount anywhere that you get that takes that out. So use it, take advantage of it. That's what we're here for. So it's going to be a lot easier on you planning your vacation if you have to change a bunch of things, if you have a bunch of questions, to call myself, call your travel agent, and have them do those things for you. It's just less stress for you, and everyone hopefully knows at this point that my motto is Hakuna Matata. I want you to have no worries. I want you to go on your vacation and just enjoy your vacation and your family and make those amazing memories. I don't want you to be stressed out. So please, I'm begging you, number 3, call me, call a travel agent. Number 4, now we need to pick our resort. So we know when we're going, we know how long we're going for, we have our budget. Now we need to pick our resort. And this will kind of play into the budget factor a little bit, because there are going to be different tier hotels, and the prices range anywhere from $180 to $1,200 a night. So, you know, the budget is going to play into effect here, but now we know what we're working with, and we can go and we can pick that hotel. So I would recommend, especially if you're a first timer and we're talking specifically about Disney World in Orlando, that you would pick a Disney World resort. So a Disney World resort will be one of over 20 resorts on Disney World property, which encompasses over 40 square miles. And it's going to give you transportation within the Disney bubble. So once you're on Disney property, you now have access, depending on which hotel or which resort you're at, because they're all a little bit different for transportation, but you could have bus transportation, monorail transportation, Skyliner transportation, and boat transportation. So these are all free transportation offered depending on which resort you're at. Some offer, all of them you can get a bus at. Others offer additional transportation as well. And this is going to take you everywhere that you need to go on Disney. This is going to take you to all of your parks. This is going to take you to the water park. This is going to take you to Disney Springs, which is the downtown food and shopping district that Disney runs. So there you can find over 60 different food options to choose from. You can get anything from cookies and coffee, food trucks, to fine dining, and literally anything in between. And over 200 shopping places. I mean, the amount of stores and kiosks and stuff there is crazy. And it's not just Disney branded stuff. You've got Lululemon, you have Sephora, Coach, Basin, the hugest Lego store I've ever seen. It's ginormous. So you need to decide, you know, where you're going to stay, what's important to you, what you want to be close to. And another thing that we need to take into consideration is, are we just going to Disney? Because often people will call me and they'll say, all right, I want to go to Disney. I want to go to see Mickey Mouse and the castle and The Simpsons and Harry Potter. I'm like, okay, that's great, but these are two different things. So Disney World is here, Universal Studios is here. And at Universal Studios, you'll find Harry Potter Land, and you'll find The Simpsons and the Hulk roller coaster and the Jurassic roller coaster, Velocicoaster, and all of these other things. But that's at two different theme parks in Orlando. So that's Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, and they're side by side, but you do need tickets to get into both, or you need to have a multi-park ticket. And I will tell you that oftentimes it's just Harry Potter that people are interested in. There's 2 parks, and Harry Potter is split between the 2. So you either have to go to both parks on different days, or you have to upgrade that ticket to be able to go between the 2 parks. Over here in Lake Buena Vista is Disney World, which has 4 theme parks. The Magic Kingdom, which is going to be your Main Street to your castle, Mickey Mouse's house, if you will, with all different lands and rides throughout. So that's Magic Kingdom. The second is Epcot with the golf ball and that has the World Showcase that encompasses 11 different countries, showing different foods, traditions, etc. from those countries. Next would be Hollywood Studios, formerly MGM. This is where you will find Art Deco, Hollywood throwback kind of stuff, as well as Toy Story Land and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Then we go over to Animal Kingdom, which is obviously animal themed and themed around Asia and Africa. This is a beautiful park that also houses Pandora World of Avatar, or Avatar World of Pandora, and a roller coaster, Everest, that is there. So those are the 4 parks that make up Walt Disney World. Then there's also a water park here that you can add that to your ticket as well. So currently, Typhoon Lagoon just reopened 2 days ago. Blizzard Beach just closed for refurbishment, so currently there is only one. There are 2 miniature golf courses. You would get free admission to one of those with a package if you booked a package through me. And then all of the Disney Springs with all of the restaurants and all of that stuff. Plus you have access to all of the resorts. You can go to any of these resorts anytime you want to. You can go and eat at the restaurants there. You can just walk around. You can go to the shopping places. You can do all of that at any of these resorts at any time. So don't worry about any of that. So that would be picking your resort. Now we need to pick, actually another thing with your resort that you also need to take into consideration is how many people and how many rooms. So another issue that I've had with people is I've got 2 kids, they're 8 and they're 10, they cannot sleep in the same bed. I'm like, okay, so one issue that we have is Walt Disney World in Lake Buena Vista does not allow cots per fire code. So no cots are allowed. You cannot get a cot in Disney World. You can get a pack and play or a crib, but you cannot get a cot. So some hotels will have what's called a 5th sleeper, and it's basically a pull down bed. It's kind of in front of a bureau and it pulls down, and it's about the size of like a good kitchen table, but it's a twin mattress, a little bit narrower. It's probably, would fit like a good 11, 12-year-old and under. An adult could sleep on it. I don't know, if you didn't move around so that you don't fall off. But I mean, I've laid on it. It's perfectly fine. Other resorts would have a couch that might flip into a twin size bed. There, I believe, are there's villas that would be, now we're going up in price, but there's villas that might be like a 2-bedroom villa. And then there's also some hotels that have family suites. So this is something to take into consideration when we're thinking about it, because most hotels are 2 queen beds, so they sleep 4 people. So you either get into a situation where we have to upgrade so that we can find some leniency for those rooms, or get 2 rooms. So it's just something to think about, something to consider. There are Disney Good Neighbor hotels, which are across the street from downtown Disney, and that would be your Holiday Inn, Doubletree Resort, the B Resort, and like 4 or 5 other ones that are in that area. But that does not put you with Disney transportation. Transportation is provided by those hotels, and you're at their mercy at that point. And then anywhere else off property, you need to provide your own transportation. So those are all just things to consider, and these are the things that I usually try to discuss with my clients when they come in to see me. And you can talk to a couple of my newer clients. Generally speaking, because all of this information I like to present to people, first visits are usually 3 to 4 hours. They end up being when people come in to see me, because they have so many questions and there's just so much information. So please, if you're thinking about a Disney vacation, please watch this video first, or refer it to a friend who may be getting ready to plan that vacation. So a lot of questions can be answered, hopefully, right here. So number 5 would be park days. How many days are you planning on going to the park? So like I said, there's 4 parks. Do you want to see them all? Is this your one big Disney trip? If so, you probably would want to see them all. If you plan on going again soon or you go regularly, then maybe that's not as important. We're going in April and flights were astronomical. They were just outrageous. So we ended up, we're doing 4 nights at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So we have kind of 5 full days because we get in relatively early on the first day and we leave relatively late on the last day. But we're staying at a deluxe resort, which we don't usually do. And it's a resort that we've all wanted to stay at for a very long time. So I wanted to spend some time there. So I didn't want to cram all 4 parks into the trip. So we had talked to our son and we agreed on 3 parks this trip around. So, there is a little bit of flexibility there. Not everybody does every park all the time. You just kind of have to see what's right for you. And then there's the option of adding on the water park tickets or a park hopper, which means you can go to one park first thing in the morning when they open, and then at 2 o'clock, you can hop to another park. In reality, you could go to one park early, leave at 1 o'clock, be at the other gate for 2 o'clock, go on one ride there, hop to a third park, go on one ride there, and hop to a 4th park, and you can do all 4 parks in one day. That is absolutely your choice, and kind of a challenge on how much energy you would have. I would not do it. So park days and deciding on that would be number 5. Number 6, we touched briefly on, is dining. So like I mentioned, there are over 200 dining options on Disney property, and that's between all of the parks, the resorts, Disney Springs, that's your quick service restaurants, your food trucks in Disney Springs, table service restaurants, fine dining. So you can literally go somewhere and get a $6 cookie. You can go to a food truck and get some awesome shrimp mac and cheese. You can go to a home cooking place and get some of the best mac and cheese and chicken and waffles around. Or you can have a 5-hour dining experience at a 5-star restaurant. This is all right in the Disney bubble. So we need to discuss what you're going to do. Are we going to eat quick service in the morning? Are we going to have a bagel? Are we going to bring our own granola bars? We're not really breakfast people anyway. That's what I do. Grab a small snack at the parks later and have an early big dinner at 4 or 5 o'clock. Are we going to eat all day? And that's, I'm going there for the food and the snacks, and I don't care about the rides. So these are things that we really need to think about. So one thing that I do, and people think I'm crazy, and that's okay. This is another thing you might consider. If you're staying at a Disney resort, this is a Disney refillable mug. This is an old one, so they don't look like this right now. I believe last I saw, they were still blue and yellow for the 50th anniversary, which Disney has been celebrating. But that ends March 31st, and we're now celebrating 100 years of Disney, the company itself. So these cups you can purchase at your resort, right in the gift shop, or at the food court or quick service restaurant. And this cup, I believe it's $25, might be $27. It has a reader in the bottom of it. So you pay for this mug, and you're allowed to use this mug for refills in your resort or any other resort. This is not good in parks. But you can use this whenever you want to refill your drink, if you're at your resort or another resort, for coffee, tea, water, whatever soft drinks they have. They usually have iced tea. And depending on the hotel, they'll have Coke products, might be Coke Sprite, a vitamin water, fruit punch, something like that. And then some hotels, and eventually they will all have the Freestyle machines. So if you are a soda drinker or an iced tea drinker, or coffee, tea, if you're going to be there for several days, this might be something that you would want to pick up. So it's good for the whole length of your stay. It's not good when you come back, but you can use this. And another thing we actually have in the closet is a popcorn bucket. You can buy a popcorn bucket in Disney, in any of the parks, I believe they're $12.99. It's a plastic popcorn bucket with a cover. And every time you use that popcorn bucket, you just take the popcorn bucket back to the popcorn kiosk, and your popcorn is, I think, $2.12 as opposed to whatever the full price is. And you can actually take that popcorn bucket back with you every single time you go. So we have our popcorn bucket that we got maybe 3 years ago. I'll take that and I'll put it on a little what are those the little hooks? Carabiner, those little hooks, and I'll hook it on something, and then we'll just take it with us. And then my husband and my son love popcorn, and every time they want popcorn, they just use that. So we save a lot of money doing that as well. But those are just 2 tips in the middle here, sorry. So what I do with my dining is I know when we're going, I know what we're doing. Here's my budget. This is how much of it I've spent. This is what we have left over. Let me see what we're going to spend on food. So I start looking through the website. I look at different restaurants that we're interested in. And this is honestly what I do. I look at the menu. I go to lunch or dinner, whichever one I'm eating at. And I look through the menu and I say, okay, my husband's Rob. Rob might like this. Rob might like this. Rob might like this. Which one's more expensive? Okay, $32. I write that down. I might like this. I might like this. Maybe I'd be in the mood for this day. What's the most expensive? I write it down. So I look at the menu. Obviously not everybody's gonna like everything, but if that's the case, just go for the most expensive item. And that's kind of how I figure it out. If you're gonna be on a real budget, but you want to have some of those experiences, look through the menu ahead of time, decide what your budget might be, and then stick to it. But I always like to go in high. So what I do is I either take my gift cards and my cash, and I know on Monday, we're eating at Skipper Canteen. I have $220 allocated for that. I don't know what we're gonna spend. Whatever is left, I put into an envelope or into a spot for the next day. And I keep doing that throughout the week. And then by the end of the week, I have extra money that I can put towards my next trip for a down payment, or extra spending money, or the extra snack, or that shirt that somebody was looking at. And that's how I do my budget. But I do budget as well. It's very important. Number 7 is gonna be other. So there's enhancing extras, souvenirs, Ubers, tips, etc. So enhancing extras is Disney offers a ton of additional stuff. Dessert parties are a great way to splurge if you're there celebrating something really neat. You can book a dessert party that would get you access to a private area that you're not going to be surrounded by as many people for fireworks at either Epcot or Magic Kingdom. There's boat rentals, there's boat firework parties, and I have a client who's actually going on that next week, so I'll have some information on how, if she thought that was worth it or not. There's all kinds of tours. There's VIP tours that could cost you up to $10,000, but there's some pretty cool, extremely affordable things that you can do as well. You can get up close and personal with rhinos at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that's $35 a person. You go out backstage with the rhinoceroses, with their keepers, you learn about them. So there's lots of stuff like that around Disney World as well. So if anybody's interested in any of those things, please reach out to me. Souvenirs. If you're gonna be there with children, you might wanna put that into your budget, what you're gonna spend on souvenirs. One thing that I do like to suggest to people, and if you go back on my videos and you watch some of my Dollar Tree videos, you'll see Dollar Tree stocks a lot of Disney branded merchandise. And right now they have a ton of stuff. So go to the dollar store, get a few things that are Disney related with characters that your child might like, bring those with you, and each day you pull one out. Either it's a reward or something that maybe Mickey left in the room for them, and you have something already, and that's gonna kind of curb that a little bit, that they're not gonna want. A couple of things that I would suggest if you don't wanna spend the Disney ridiculous money for is ordering a misting fan and or a bubble machine, because those are the two things that when you're walking down Main Street, all the people are going to have and all the kids are going to want. And they're foolish. They're expensive, and you can get them on Amazon. It's hot in Disney, so the mist and fan isn't always the worst thing. I got my son a Nemo one 5 years ago on Amazon for half the price, and he still brings that with him to this day. So, there's that. Uber, if you do plan on going off property at all and you don't have your own car, then Uber is something that you want to just consider. And don't forget, if you're taking a bus or anything like that, and then SkyCap at the airport, these are things I forget all the time to have extra cash on me. And then we get to SkyCap and all I have is a $20 bill. And I'm like, great, now we're giving the guy, took one suitcase and we're giving him $20. So, try to remember things like that. Housekeeping, mousekeeping at Disney, a couple of dollars here and there for the housekeepers. I usually do like $5 a day, or if we're there one place for the whole time, then I'll just give her something at the end. And please don't forget to tip your servers. You're going to Disney, I get it, you spent a lot of money to be there, but this is their job, this is their livelihood, so just please don't forget to tip. So there you have it. These are my tips. The 7 things that I think if you start with planning any vacation is going to kind of make things a little bit easier. And it's definitely going to make things easier in talking to your travel agent. A lot of people call me and say, I want to go to Wisconsin. Okay. Can you narrow it down? I don't know. What's good there? Where should I fly out? Where should I fly into? When's a good time to go? And then I get them all the information, give them a price, and 9 times out of 10, they'll say, I don't want to go then. Okay, when do you want to go? I don't know, maybe this time, maybe that time. Okay, get the prices together again, give them a quote. Well, I don't want to spend that much. I think I saw prices cheaper here. Okay, so you've already looked, you already knew what you wanted. Just tell me what you want. You know what you want, you know what you can spend. If you have that open communication with your travel agent from the beginning, things will be much easier. I promise you that. So if any of these tips help you, I urge you to give me a call. Hakuna Matata Vacations, that's me. I can definitely help you. If you don't want to call me, you can call somebody else. I would be happy to help you or happy to send you to somebody else. There's hundreds of people in my agency, so that's definitely something that I can help you out with. I do have a Disney trip coming. So today is March 20th. Happy spring, everybody. We have a Disney trip coming in April. So we will be doing several videos. So I've got a bunch of stuff coming your way. And bear with me because we just ordered a new camera and we will be learning it. So please go easy on us. But we will be doing a Hoop-Dee-Doo review dining video. We are super excited for the Hoop-Dee-Doo review coming back at you. It's one of my husband's all-time favorites. It closed obviously during COVID and it wasn't open when we went back. And then the last time we were there, we couldn't get a reservation. So we are super excited that we were able to get the Hoop-Dee-Doo. We will have a resort tour of the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We do have a room with a Savannah view, so we'll be able to see the animals right from our room. So Ryder is super excited about that. We will have an Epcot day, a Magic Kingdom day, and a Hollywood Studios day. We will be trying to get on the new Tron that opens April 4th. We will have a dining review from Skipper Canteen, which I'm very excited about, but the menu's a little eclectic and I have 2 very picky eaters. So we will be doing a picky eater dining review from Skipper Canteen. And Garden Grill in Epcot is a dining experience with characters. So we will be doing that. And then, we've got Mama Melrose Fantasmic Dining Package at Hollywood Studios. So Fantasmic reopened just a few months ago and the lines have been super, super long. I can't stand in a line for an extended period of time. So we bought a dining package. It was $54 for Mama Melrose Italian Restaurant Day. in Hollywood Studios. And with that, you get either an entree you get an entree, and with it, you get either an appetizer or a dessert for $54. And drinks, except for alcohol, you have to do additional. So for $54, we will be doing that, and then that gives us a ticket to Fantasmic, which has seating available and ready, reserved for us. So we will be doing a review on if the over $200 is worth it, because it will be myself, my husband, my mom, and my son. I will also be doing, I don't know if it'll be a whole video, but we will be talking about getting around and the transportation with an ECV. So I blew out my ACL in September of last year, and I need ACL surgery. So there's no way I can walk around theme parks. Generally, if my husband checks his watch, we do 13 miles is a low day of how much we walk in Disney World parks. So there's no way I can do that. So I'm not happy about it, but I will be renting an ECV to do that. So I will let you guys know how that goes. And as I've said before, I'm always open and honest with everything, that I do here. So I wanted to be completely transparent that that's what will be going on there. So those videos will be coming out the end of April, beginning of May. So please, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of those. I cannot thank all of you enough for all of the support. We're at about 200 subscribers right now, and I know that might sound like absolutely nothing, but we went from 100 to 200 literally overnight, and it was kind of crazy. So I just thank you all so much for the support that you have given me, and everybody just get ready, because in the next couple of weeks you'll be meeting other members of the family, and it should be a pretty wild ride. So I'm pretty excited. Don't forget, race videos are starting in just a couple of weeks. The first race will be April 2nd. So there'll be a race video coming the first week of April, and then the full season starts the first weekend of May. So please, please, please like this video, subscribe so that you get notifications for all of our future stuff. I, again, thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. And just remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. Have a great day, everybody.